Hello guys, how are you today? I hope you will be fine. And today we're gonna talk about different habitats of the animals. Okay, let's see how do they live in their habitat. Okay, what do they use for the living? So let's start. Bismillah, guys. First, we're gonna start from fish. Now, as we have it here, fish use their gills for breathing under the water. It means these are the gills of the fish that they are using for breathing. We are breathing by our mouth and nose. That lung is changing the CO2 to oxygen, right? So, but they are not breathing by mouth or nose. They are going to breathe by their gills. Okay, they have gills. Fish use their gills for what? For breathing under the water. Okay, gills for breathing. You have to know what do they have and use for what. And now fish have gills for breathing, and also fish have fins for swimming. You see, guys, the white part in the picture. You see, from the sides, from the back, they have it. They are moving these extra parts in their body for swimming, for moving inside the water. It means fish use their fins for swimming. And these two are about the fish that are important. Their gills and their fins. Gills for breathing and fins for swimming. That's all about the fish. And for about birds, you have something that you have to know. Some things. The main important one is birds use their wings for flying. They have wings, as you see in the picture here. They have wings that they are using them for flying. Okay, they are going to use their wings for flying and move around. It means to different places. And also birds that live near the rivers, as you see here. If you look the bird here, you will see that they catch the fish. It means the birds that live near the rivers eat fish. And what do they eat? The birds near the rivers, they eat fish. You see here, it catch the fish. And birds that live in the grassland eat seeds or insects. Here they are eating the seeds. You see sunflower seed here, and maybe many insects will be there. So these birds that live in the grassland eat seeds or insects. It means you have to know these three about the birds. Birds use their wings for flying, and birds that live near the rivers are going to eat fish, and the birds that live in the grassland eat seeds or insects. And also for let me just summarize this slide. Fish use their gills for breathing. What for breathing? Gills. Okay, the gills for breathing. And their what for swimming? Fins. Fins for what? For swimming. It means fish use their gills for breathing under the water. Of course, they are always in the water. And also, of course, fish use their fins for swimming. We have mentioned these two. And three things about birds. Birds use their wings for flying. Birds use their that live near the rivers eat fish. And also birds that live in the grassland eat seeds or insects. So these are about fish, these two, and these three are about birds that you have to know. Okay, let's go for the other parts, guys. Something else that you have to know about the birds. The birds have different size and shape of what? Of beaks that are used for different purposes. It means their beaks are different in size and also in shape. Why should their beaks be different? Because they are using for different purposes, because they are eating different things. So for eating each thing, you have to have a specific kind of beak for this. Let's go for the parts to understand. For example, the pigeon here, it has small and pointed beak. The beak is small and pointed. Why? What's the purpose? We said size and shape. The size is small, the shape is pointed. So what's the purpose? For crack opening the seeds. You see, size, shape, purpose. We have three things that you have to know about each animal: size, shape, purpose. Now, the size is small, the shape is pointed. What's the purpose? The purpose is for crack opening the seeds. This is about what? Pigeon. The pigeon beak is like that. What about starling is beak? Okay, the starling beak, it has long and pointed beak. It means the size is long, the shape is pointed. What's the purpose for this? For digging the ground and eat the worms. Okay, if it will be small pointed, it means the starling will eat seeds too, because it will be small pointed, but here long pointed. Why should the seed, I mean the sorry, the beak will be long? To dig the ground and put the beak inside the ground, under the ground, to take out the worms to eat. You see, if it's small, they cannot take out the worms to eat. It's long, that's why they can dig the ground and take out the worms. So you see that each size and shape of the beak is specific for a purpose. For example, the small pointed beak is specific for crack opening the seeds, but long and pointed is specific for digging ground and taking out the worms. You see? And let's go for the others. The kingfisher. Kingfisher, it has a large, sharp pointed. Now it's again sharp pointed beak, but what? Large. The size is large. Okay, large, not long, not small. It's large. Why? Because this is about size, large. The shape is sharp pointed. What's the purpose? The purpose is it catches fishes. Guys, if the what do you call, the beak will be small or will be long, whatever you say, if it's not large, it cannot catch the fish. Maybe you have seen in many videos or any other things that when some animals, and we can say a bird that catch the fish are continuously moving. They are not stopping even for a second. They are moving just to escape. You see, so that's why the beak must be large and sharp pointed to catch the fish and to not let it to escape. You see, the size, the shape, and also the purpose. The last one is flamingo. It has long and flat, completely different from the other three. You see, completely different. So it has a long and flat beak. So it means the size is long, the shape is flat. The only one that has flat beak, the only one that the shape is flat. The others are pointed beak, sharp pointed beak. But this one is flat beak, not pointed. Okay, the only different one. So it means it has long and flat beak, flamingo. What is it for? It means the size is long, the shape is flat. What's the purpose? We said we have to know these three things about each of them. What's the purpose? It strains the plant and animals from the water. So that's why it must be flat and big. So if you look the see the beak, you see that it's completely different from the other. It's flat and also it's long. It's kind of big. You see. So one more time, birds have different sizes and shapes of the beaks that are used for what? Different purposes. It means about each of them you have to know these three. What's the size, what's the shape, and what's the purpose of having this beak? The size and shape and purpose, like this. Pigeon has small, the size is small, the size of beak, and the shape is pointed. What's the purpose? Crack opening the seeds. And also starlings, starling has long, the size is long, the size of beak, the shape of beak is pointed. beak. What's the purpose? Digging ground to eat the worms. And kingfishers, the size is large, the shape is sharp pointed. What's the purpose? To catch the fish. And flamingo, the completely different one, the size is long, the shape is flat, and what's the purpose? For straining the plants and animals in the water. So guys, today's lesson were not much, and also they are really easy. It's all about some things about fish and some birds and about beaks. So I hope you understand, and if you have any questions you can just write it and I will answer you inshallah. Best wishes.